What I want to talk about today is, let's start with the lover, because it all starts with the lover, the instigational channel. And if you don't have start with the lover, it's like the lover activates the whole process of turning energy into matter, which is lover, sovereign, warrior, magician. And if you don't have a clear desire in the lover, if you don't have a clear standard, nothing is going to change, because that's where it starts. Hi, Hannah. And this is why we, it's like, this is why I ask, what is your goal? What is that you want? So part of the lover is, like I mentioned last time, like you are the price, right? It's like you hold yourself in high value, and you hold your expertise in high value, and you hold your time in high value. And there's two pieces to holding your time in high value. One of them is, how do you spend your time? And how do you give it away? Yeah, I love it. And how do you sell it for cheap, basically, right? So about the lover, I'm gonna give you a visual here, which is one of the things that really that makes this make a lot of sense. You have a flower, beautiful flower, and then you have bees that are seeking nectar, right? So the flower is just standing still, radiating beauty, radiating magnetic energy, like you guys will be doing. And the bees seek out the flower and come to the flower for the nectar. The flower never runs after the bees, begging them to take its nectar, right? And this is what happens when you're doing marketing and business and sales from shadow. You become the flower that, instead of standing still, you run after the bees and want to like, please, please, please take my nectar. So you really want to pull your energy in. This is what you do when you step out of shadow, because when you're in shadow, right, it's like your potential clients, they have the money and you need the money and you need to go out and get them. It's like, come to me, come to me, I need you, I need you, I need you, can you please come to me and be my client? Because yeah, they hold the money in the hands. So you flip it over to the light archetypes and you come into the lover, and you know that you are the most beautiful flower on the planet, and you know that there is no competition for your nectar. And you pull it all back in, because you know that all you have to do is be you in the light, in your values, in your standards, in the responsibility, etc., and the bees will come to you. So when it comes into marketing, you do the same thing. It's like, one of the things, I mean, I have, with some of you, I have worked on your marketing post, and part of that is, like, just like learning marketing skills, or marketing post writing skills. But there is other part, is like, when you write a marketing post, you want to write as a flower that is standing still, knowing that there's so much value in what you offer that, yeah, people are just going to accidentally come across your post and read it and want to work with you, rather than writing a post that where the energy is like you're the flower that's running after the bees. So, and how that comes out, of the value, is that the value you offer as a lover is truth. And we all have different areas of life where we offer truth, right? It's like Pamela does a relationship, Amanda does, I think she does dating, I don't know. Um, Hannah does Forex. Lorraine is like leave your corporate job and create a spiritual business. It's like Merle is business coach. You know, you all have different areas where you speak truth. So marketing is when you step into the sovereign and you speak truth. And your truth is the beautiful flower. This is how you make the beautiful flower visible. Oh God, I didn't even see those emojis, Amanda. 2 flowers and a bee, yes. And it's like this is something that has come up in is like from several different people recently. It's like not having inspiration for marketing. And you need the lover activated before the magician is going to be activated with the inspiration. But once you stand in your value, and this is what I'm selling and it has value, there will be inspiration, because there's never not inspiration. And if you can't find the inspiration, here's another thing about the inspiration, is that I believe I said this before, but I'm gonna repeat it because some of you are stumbling over this. It's like when it comes to inspiration, you might get a seed idea. And it might be incomplete. It might just be the beginning idea of something that needs to happen. So for example, with the Money Warrior live stream series, right? It's like all I got was it was going to be a 5-part live stream series on Money Warrior. And I had the fleeting thought, it's like, oh my God, what am I going to be talking about for, 5 times? I had no idea. And I just went with it. I didn't question it more. I just, okay, I'm just going to do it. We'll see what happens. If I don't have a lot to say, I can just make a short videos. And then it's like the magician gives you the next step and the next step and the next step and the next step. In between, you have to take the actions. So when you get the idea of getting a landing page, right? It's like you might not get the content for the landing page. You might only get the idea to do a landing page. And this is, of course, I'm talking about Merle. And this is where I see people become very passive, because waiting for more inspiration. But you don't need more inspiration. There's no more inspiration to be delivered, because you need to take it over with the sovereign. Or you can go into the lover and says, well, it's my standard to act on all my intuitive hits. And when my intuition says make a landing page, then I'm going to make a landing page. I don't know what I'm going to write, but I'm going to go and do it. And then the sovereign, is like, takes it. Yes, I'm going to take responsibility for creating this landing page. And then the warrior sits down and starts writing, right? Starts creating the landing page. And it's like in the process of writing the landing page, like I like doing sales pages because they help me getting clear on what I'm actually offering, making it easier to market it and promote it. So I have used sales pages in the past to actually help me gain clarity, because in the process of having to write a sales page, I have to I have to figure out, it's like that's doing the hard work of figuring out exactly what I'm offering. And it's like as I'm writing the sales page, I get more inspirations of what it is that I'm offering. But the inspiration doesn't come until I'm doing the work. So it's like the inspiration is always what's the next step. And when the next step says write a landing page, then you go start writing a landing page. And as you're writing it, then you get the next hit says, include this on your landing page. And you include this on the landing page and work with it. And then something else, and then include this on your landing page also. Right? That's how it rolls. So this has to do with, it's like the child wanting it easy and effortless, or it's like the victim doesn't want to do the hard work, and the child, the entitled child, wanting it easy and effortless. It's like the kind of like best friends when it comes to this, the child and the victim. So there is this expectation that everything is going to be spoon fed to you from the magician, but it doesn't work. And I'm going to give a challenge to you guys now, because I'm going to ask you to warrior up on the home run here. And I'm going to ask you, I'm going to tell you to, I'm not going to ask you, I'm going to tell you to, every day for the next 10 days or however long we have in this program, I want you to do at least one marketing post, if not 3, that are totally focused on your offer, whatever it is that your offer is. And you go full in on marketing this. And when I say marketing post, it can just be one-liners. It can be a little story from yourself. It doesn't have to be these like super, 2-day worked on marketing post. It can be like a Facebook Live. It's like, but I want you to really warrior up and realize that you can do that. You can market so much, and you will have the inspiration, because when the lover says, I will do, I'm not willing to settle for anything less than my goal being met. And it hasn't been met yet, and I will still not settle. And that means I gotta kick my own ass, and I'm gonna warrior up, and this is gonna happen. It's gonna totally activate your magician to give you all these ideas. So I want you all to up level the warrior and put out more marketing content. And you will realize you can. So let me just go in and check the comments here. Yeah, oh God, shadow is exhausting. It sucks all the energy out of it. So the leader, yesterday I had an idea. Oh, that's awesome, the leader. Well, there's the sign. Go ahead and do it, and you have 10 days, to fill up your program. It's like, go for it. Go totally in for it. Yeah. Yeah, Lauren. Yep. So Merle, when you say you're in your victim and child, why don't you alchemize yourself out of it? So here's another thing I want to mention to you guys is like, when, shadow comes up, right? As it, eventually will, because you're up leveling. So that's going to expose new shadows. It's like, why do you allow them to take over? Why don't you just stop them as soon as they come up? It's like they shouldn't even be allowed to be more than a thought, and then you catch it and you alchemize it if you need to, rather than having it take over and suddenly you'll spend like 2 days in shadow. This is every time you do that, you settle for less than what is your standard. Because your standards is ultimately living a shadow-free life, which is why you're in this business container and not another business coaching container. So your standards are ultimately to live a life free of shadow. And yet you allow yourself to disappear into shadow. Every time you do that, you are abandoning yourself, because your shadow self is not you. And every time you're doing it, you are settling for less than what you truly want. And every time you're allowing yourself to go into shadow, you're breaking your word to yourself, which is now we are again in the warrior victim channel. And this is where a lot of you, I think needs to level up by keeping your word to yourself. It's like, I see a lot of you doing a lot of uncomfortable things, but they're not enough of them. Not enough of them are business related, and not enough of them are business focused, right? So it's like, great, taking all these uncomfortable actions in general. In the home run, I want you to totally focus in on just doing it around your business. Yeah, Amanda, settling is prostitute. So I was going to say something else here. Let me just call up my notes here. Yeah. So you all came in here because you wanted to become more warrior in making more money. So that was a promise you made yourself when you signed up, right? So why are you not keeping your word with yourself? So, I get, Amanda, you won the Me Talk and stuff, but it's not relevant for everybody else. Yeah, developing trust in yourself. Yeah. And it's like every time you break your word to yourself, every time you settle for anything less than your standards, every time you let yourself get away with procrastination or avoidance or whatever, you lose trust in yourself, because you're basically saying it's like, I can't trust myself. I'm always going to let myself down. So when it comes to building your business, it's like every time you want to up level your business, it is going to take extra hard work. Oh, hi Rachel. I'm going to refer the conversation of being on the Me Talk. I'm going to answer this outside because it doesn't really have anything to do with this. So when it comes to, following your intuition, there was somebody here who was worried about the time, running out of time for something. There's always time. Yeah, lose trust and self-respect. Yeah, I finished that one. So there is a great way of thinking about how to work with the magician, right? It's like you have set your desire, you have decreed, you're willing to take the actions. And then shadow would be waiting for, so what am I going to do now? What am I going to do now? What am I going to do? What's the next action I'm going to take? Tell me what action to take. And then you go into the shadow and start trying to figure it out, which is all saboteur. If you changed it to, I'm going to wait with rather than wait for, because you know that you're going to be told the next step, and if not before, then right before you have to take it. And you don't actually need to know what the next step is until right before you have to take it. Yes, and Jessica, that was running out of time, but it wasn't quite your time thing. But the magician is the master of time. You create time, you collapse time, you expand time, you collapse time. So you're never going to run out of time. It's a tricky one. That was the hardest one for me to get. I'm still kind of barely getting it. So your magician already knows how to manifest your goal. Right? It's like very clear. You do this, 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 da 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 da. And that's how you'll get there. The magician already knows this. So your job is just wait for the next command, and 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 wait for the next command. And all you need is the next step, and you don't need it until right before you have to take it. And how often the steps comes from what is your lover's desire, what is the lover's standards, It's like, what is your decree? Now, if you say, I will make 5,000 in the next 6 months, those steps are going to be very, 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 very slow in coming. If you're saying I'm going to make 5,000 tomorrow, those steps are going to boom, 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 boom. Yeah. And I'm going to talk more about that, Agnieszka, because it's actually happening a lot that I see. So you get this whole thing about the intuition, how the intuition works, and how that, then tells the warrior, now take this action. And even if you don't get the whole idea, just act on it. Just act on it. And sometimes it's not even that you have to finish a project. It's just like that's where your next codes are being activated. So the distractions was the other part. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Stephen Covey's 4 quadrants. So we all have we're actually just gonna find it on my iPad here. I always forget the exact order. Okay, so we all have urgent and not urgent things to do, and we have important and not important things to do. So the urgent things, because they are urgent, it's easier for us to do those than just pull back and say, this is urgent, I'm going to focus on what's important. And then there are things that are urgent but not necessarily important right now, or that are not really urgent and not important, like phone calls to friends and doing the dishes, which I could totally get distracted by, except I use it as a break from the computer, right? So you have urgent, not urgent, important, not important. Where you want to spend most of your time is on things that are important but not urgent. And this is where your discipline needs to come in. And this is what Agnieszka reminded me of, and some other people. I think Mancha, you mentioned the same thing. It's like, it's so easy to get caught up in like busy work, like the things that are urgent and needs to be done, whether they are really important or not. So it's like, if you get into those things, you are again settling and you are abandoning yourself, because you're not showing up for your business. And your business is your dream. That's your desire, right? So if you allowed yourself to get pulled into distraction, like all these things that needs done, but they aren't super important right now, so you could do like 1 or 2 every day instead of like, or use them as general distractions, you are abandoning yourself, you are abandoning your dreams, you are settling for less than your standards, right? So your self-discipline, because we're talking about the warrior, right? Your self-discipline is to do what is important. What is important and not urgent. So what do you mean that everything has become urgent, Merle? What do you mean by that? So this is like, I had said this before or told you about this question before. It's like, what can I do to move my business forward the most right now? That's the important thing. What can I do right now to create more sales? That's the important thing. The other things are nice and needs to be done. They are not necessarily as important. And this is part of where the warrior looks at, focuses on the things that's going to win the war, rather than all other things that could be done. It's like, having like these blinders on. Okay, my job is to win the war, and that's it. My job is to get myself in so great shape that whatever the war is, I can win it. Getting clients, yeah. And Merle, in a way it is, right? Because you have a deadline. So the urgency, you can go into shadow around it, or you can worry up. So focus on what's important, not urgent, rather than urgent or not important. Yeah. What's important, not urgent, rather the opposite. Urgent but not important. You still have to do the things that are both urgent and important, of course, but those should be a smart, they should be minimized, the things that are urgent and important. I mean, there will always be them, but you should never spend time on things that are not important. And you definitely want to get rid of the urgency. Yeah. So Merle, yes, this is true, right? I'm asking you to worry up. So yeah, you have a deadline for when you need this money. You have the end of the month. It's like, so rather than going into shadow around it, oh my God, this is overwhelming. This is too much. I can't handle it. You say, I'm going to expand. I will handle everything that comes my way. There's nothing that comes my way that I can't handle. And I will rise to the challenge of meeting my goal. Those are words from a past truth friend of mine. So it's like, this is why it's like I'm talking about this, right? We're in the home run now. We have like 10 days to go, and it's not impossible. You can totally reach your goal. But rather than falling into shadow around it, oh my God, it's like crunch time. It's like the last 2 kilometers of the marathon. You don't give up. You keep pushing yourself even more. If you made it 40 kilometers of the marathon, there's no way you're not going to run the 2 kilometers. You give it everything. You're pulling on extra to even do that. Yes, warrior up. So this is my challenge. Are you going to warrior up now, or are you going to collapse into victim again, or into shadow again? And I can tell you one thing, you can totally warrior up way more than you ever thought you were capable of. Let me just look at my notes here. So I want to go back and talk a little bit about the marketing again. So marketing is, writing marketing posts is a skill. Let me just hold. I'm going to read the Sims here. Yeah, been there, done that. Mile 20 of a marathon. I was injured, and yes, I still finished. Great analogy. Absolutely. You don't give up. You pull up even more warrior energy, and it's there. Yep, exactly, Amanda. If you are clear with the lover's desires and standards, you will totally warrior up, and there's no bullying. I was just totally standing by your desire and goal. Yep, got it. Agnieszka, shadows start from a single thought. I'm now paying attention to where I go with my thoughts in the mornings. Yeah. Every single shadow is a thought. And once that thought takes hold in you, it like triggers all kind of feelings, and then it takes over your whole life, and you settle for less, and you don't do the things, and you procrastinate and whatnot. It starts with a single thought. And it's your job as a warrior to catch that thought. That's called self-discipline. Actually, before I go into this, I think I have talked with you about the trifecta of success, right? It's like Lorna's trifecta of success. And I'm going to repeat it here because it's like really, these are the three things that it takes to succeed. Number one, massively terrifying actions. And you guys have all been working on taking these very uncomfortable actions, massively terrifying actions. So what is the next level of massively terrifying actions? And I was like, once you have done something long enough, you get comfortable with it. It's not scary anymore. So what's the next level you can push yourself to? What's the next level you can reach out to in order to make the sales? What's the next level of marketing content you can put out there? It's like, what is a massively terrifying topic you could talk about in your post? What will you be terrified to write about or talk about in a Facebook Live? What do you mean, Delita? When there's no thought, should I force and search for shadows that I'm not aware yet that I've got? Depends. It's like you can usually tell if you're in shadow or not. If you're not happy, you're probably in shadow. Not entirely true. Sometimes numbness comes in with the saboteur. It's a different version of the saboteur. Too many thoughts or not. So massively terrifying actions was number one of the trifecta of success, right? So what's the next level truth you can speak? So now you're comfortable speaking about truth at this level. What's the next level? So, as I said, I shared one of my marketing posts that I never posted because Sonika said, yeah, this is good post, great post. I need you to write post with the next level. And she gave me the whole checklist of things I have to check on. It's like, oh my God, it's going to take me a year to learn how to write that. And then I go, okay, this is my next level and I will get there. I will take as long time as I need to get there. I can afford to take the time to learn this. It's like, do you hear that? This is like the prostitute or the lover saying, I can afford to take the time to learn that. I can afford to take the time to alchemize my shadows to get there. I can afford to take the time to reach my goal because ultimately it's the energy mastery. So the next one is unwavering self-belief. And this is, you decide that, you choose that, right? It's like, oh my God, I feel I don't have anything to offer. What if people, pay me and I fail? What if I'm not good enough? It's like all these shadows come up around it, right? So you have to choose to believe in yourself, because if you can't believe in yourself, how can you expect anybody else to believe in you and actually believe in you enough to hand you over their money? What if I'm tired and my eyes hurt? I don't know. I mean, if I have been many hours on the computer, my eyes get really weird, so I go off the computer. So you need to figure out what this is about. Is it staring? Are you staring too much? Yeah. So I don't know. It is victim, right? You're tired and your eyes hurt. And sometimes this is also the limits of your body. So how much can you push it, which is the victim, when it's just about not running enough energy in it, when it's your eyes hurting from staring too much at the computer screen. So break it up, take a walk or whatever, look at something green. So unwavering self-belief, that means that once you have decided this is my offer and this is my price, you have chosen to value yourself and you have chosen to value your service that much, and you got to go all the way in, because once you doubt it, you screw it up. If you own it, you get it. Okay? So unwavering self-belief. And when the doubt comes in, because shadow, it's like, oh, here's a prostitute again. Prostitute is gonna telling me that I'm not good enough, and that's bullshit. It's a lie. And then you go into, shadow, are you willing to die? And yes, it is. It's tired of being alive in the misery. And then you just truth run it and you're on, right? Da 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 da, you do this and this, and then shadow comes up again. Oh my God, what if people think I'm overcharging compared to this other coach? Or why should they pay me when somebody else has more experience at charging the same thing? It's like, you go, that shadow, you're not getting in here. I got you. This is total bullshit because my codes are different from that other coach's codes. And my clients, they come to me from my codes and they're willing to pay for my codes. You got to be on it. Let me see here. The leader. You've been really turned on by what you're doing and you're still at the same time, which is amazing because you don't sense. Yeah. No, if there's no shadows, there are no shadows. And as you said, it's like being still is your alchemy. So go with that. Yeah, Rachel, exactly. What if nobody buys? Yeah. Yeah. So if those people, it's like, one thing is like, can you stand by the price? If you can confidently own your value with the price, people are not going to have a problem with it. I mean, unless they don't have the money. I mean, my outside the money warrior, my lowest container is 3,000. And if they can't afford it, they can't afford it. If they don't want to pay it, they don't want to pay it. So I just go, next. So a lot of times it's because you haven't found the right clients yet. Right? So that's your job. Part of your responsibility is to go out and find the client that are willing to pay your price. So a big part of building a business is going out and finding clients. It's called building your audience, creating followers, getting more people into your field over and over and over again. And if you are, marketing on Facebook, then you go and make Facebook friends. And Lorraine, she's getting most of her clients from Google and Yelp, which means that she has to make sure that she ranks high in Google. And this is how she builds the audience. So yes, unwavering. So we have massively terrifying action. We have unwavering self-belief. And the last one is, which is very relevant to today, relentless focus and discipline. Relentless focus means you can't allow yourself to be distracted. Yeah. Amanda, it's like, next. Just make me laugh and cough at the same time. And that's also the attitude necessary when dating. Sales equals dating. Yeah. It's like, I send out my offer to a lot of people and they said, they either ghost me or whatever, and just go, okay, next. That was like really that attitude you need to have. If this bee doesn't want your nectar, next. There's 7 billion people on the planet. That means there's 7,000 million people on the planet. You're never going to run out of people. If this person don't want, then just next. It is when the fear comes in that, oh, this person is not going to buy and there's nobody else, right? That's not true. That's not true. There's 7 billion people. It's like the warrior has access to unlimited resources. And if 7 billion people, clients, are not enough, well, they can walk in from different timelines. So you're never going to run out of clients. So relentless focus. This is the theme of the day. relentless focus. And this is why I say, put on the blinders. So relentless focus is one thing, right? If you're not working 8 hours on your business every day, you're allowing yourself to be distracted. Now, working on your business could be taking a walk, right? You need a break to let things percolate. So before it got like so hot, I used to take a walk every day. And the walks, they really help me like sort things through. It's like things become clear in a different way. I got downloads when I walk. So that's part of me running my business. Then you have the discipline. Now, discipline is the warrior, right? Isn't that like part of the warrior archetype? Massive discipline. Because a warrior is useless if he is not in extreme top shape. And that means the discipline to be in top shape, which for us means discipline to learn what needs learning, to do the hard work that needs doing, to do the boring work that needs boring, because not everything is very exciting, like bookkeeping and different forms of admin. It's like that's discipline. And the child and the victim, they don't want to have anything to do with this, relentless focus and discipline. Yeah, massively terrifying actions, unwavering self-belief, and relentless focus and discipline. Now, there is a different way of saying relentless focus and discipline, and that's relentless focused action. If you want to build your business and reach your goal, it has to be relentless focused action. Relentless focused action. Relentless focused action. And this is what I did to create this group of the Money Warrior, to sell it. It was like for 1 month, it was all I did. Market Money Warrior, promote Money Warrior, promote Money Warrior, promote Money Warrior. It's like just add it all the time until, and I kept going after we started because I still hadn't reached my goal. Okay, so let me just see. I think this was everything I wanted to say today. Oh. Shiny bright objects, which is something Lorraine reminded me of. Relentless focused action, RFA. Yeah, absolutely. Shiny bright objects, right? It's like with the Shadow Alchemy and the free gift, you have everything you need. You don't need to look outside to do even better, right? It's just running after the toys instead of showing up here and using what you already have. So if you have felt yourself collapsing somehow, it's like tighten up your presence in Money Warrior, tighten up your presence in the focus with your marketing, is tighten up the amount of marketing you do and really get into relentless focused action. What's the next level truth you can speak? Because if you just say what everybody else is saying, you're not going to stand out, right? You're not going to be the most gorgeous flower around that just radiates the beauty, and that's going to attract the bees. You're just going to be one flower among many that looks just the same, right? It's like, how can you be the biggest, most beautiful flower out there? And that means next level truth. It means like do even more promotion. So this is what I want to see from you guys. It's like I want to see even more promotion and marketing that is extremely focused on your offer. And once you decide that, the magician is going to kick in with ideas, but you still need to put the hard work in to develop it. And I want to see next level truth in your marketing. So working on your business is also learning more about sales and Yeah, taking the courses if it's coming from the right place, sure. Uh, you, it's very seldom that you need to take a course that is not part of the LG because everything is in there. But yeah, next level truth in marketing, I want to see that from you guys. And you also need to go out and bring new people into your field, right? This is what it takes to run a business. You come in here, you want to have a lucrative business, welcome to the real world and the real work.